All right. All right, Triba. Welcome back to another workshop with BU, our content creation expert within Triba. Hey, BU. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too.
We're in 2023, guys. It's a new year. It's a new Triba, but we're the same old family over here. We had a great holiday. We had a Christmas party on the 30th. It was really, really fun. Played some awesome games. Just hung out with people. Wasn't live streamed or anything, so if you missed that, you missed it. I mean, what can I say? Be there next
Yeah.
time.
It was a lot of fun. Definitely like crying, laughing. We played some fun games.
Oh yeah,
Enjoyed it.
there was some good T-shirts that came out of it. We played the Jackbox Party Pack and had the T-shirt KO, and ended up coming up with some really funny ones. I think they're in the co-working channel, but I'll share that link for that. We also have the launch party for Tribe Gold coming up on the 11th, so make sure you guys check out the events in the top left corner of the Discord if you're not there. Go to discord.gg/triba, check out the events and share with your friends. We're doing stuff every day of the week now, and this is probably one of my favorites, just starting off the week with some energy and vibes from BU. She does Twitch streaming over at BeeYooTV, so twitch.tv/BeeYooTV, and that's BeeYoo. And I love her brand because it's all about just being yourself, being real and open with people. So we're going to talk a little bit about content creation today, as we do every week, specifically about how to stream with a low-end PC. So if you guys have a toaster oven, there's still stuff you can do to make it work. You know, if your internet speed is like 5 megabytes per second, you're probably gonna have some problems. There's no way to really work around super low bandwidth, but we can work with low bandwidth. So, BU, what have you encountered, or would you start off with? Let me ask you that. Would to kick it off
Oh,
with?
with streaming?
Yeah, should you start off with a pro computer and a high-end
No.
graphics card? No, no one
I
does.
didn't I did not. I did not. I actually started streaming from a PlayStation and an Xbox when I
Yeah,
first started out. So I didn't need a big fancy PC. You can use those consoles to stream straight to Twitch and keep it simple. But at some point in your streaming career, you want to have pretty overlays and transitions and be able to communicate with your audience better because you're really limited with the Xbox or the
yeah,
PlayStation. There's some cool tools, but you're eventually going to want to upgrade. So after you've saved some money and got that PC, maybe you got a cheaper one, maybe you got a hand me down. You know how things are. It's expensive. I'd
mm-hmm.
say the PC I'm using right now is about an $800 to $1,200 one. I got it
Wow,
at Best
okay.
Buy. So it's not really fancy. I upgraded some RAM in it. There's a GeForce RTX graphics card,
Do you know
and I don't.
which level it is?
Oh, 1080. Does that sound like it? No, is that?
1080. I mean,
I
the
don't
1080
remember.
GTX 1080 is a great card. That's what I had for the last four years or so. It still would be working fine if I hadn't had a friend selling his the RTX 3060. I was like, that's pretty much as you could possibly want right now, so I'll buy it.
Mhm.
I think I got it for like I paid like $300 $400 for it. So you don't have to do
Yeah.
that. You don't have to do that for sure. I mean, you can
We're
go
gonna try.
as low as like I don't know. Trying to think of like minimum PC requirements because I'm the hardware guy.
Yeah,
BU's the
I'm not.
software woman. But I can tell you like if you want to put together a cheap PC, there's ways to do it. You know, PC part picker. I will walk you through. I love doing this. I've built like a dozen computers for friends, and I build my own. My wife and I built one. It's a lot of fun. If you want to build an affordable PC, you know, for $800, you could probably build something better than BU has. I mean, not no insult to BU at all.
Yeah, I
Her
did a lot of
setup
research
works. Yeah,
when I when I did it. Everyone was telling me to build my own PC. You don't have
you don't have to. No,
to. It,
no,
it
no.
can
You
work
can
out
find a
better,
good
but
deal.
I didn't have the time or the patience. So,
Yeah,
but it doesn't really matter what you've got right now. We're gonna go through some settings in
hmm,
OBS and see what we can do to try to get that lag out of your game. So you go live, everything's working fine, and then all of a sudden your game and your stream is just lagging behind, frame rates are dropping, and it's just no one wants to watch your
yeah,
game lag the whole time you're playing.
yeah.
So I ran into some issues over the weekend. I've been playing a game called Way of the Hunter, and it's a little
Oh,
bit more demanding than games I usually play. I'm usually playing indies or just a talk show, and I don't have problems. But I put in a big game like Call of Duty or this game, and my stream just looks like awful. So
Mm-hmm.
did some research on what we can do to get that running smoothly. So I'm going to share my screen with y'all and show you different settings to look at in OBS, and we'll try to get an understanding of what's going on. It does take some troubleshooting. It could be your PC isn't good enough. Maybe you have just too many programs open and it's using all your resources, and we can optimize that. I
Close
learned
out
some
of
really
those
cool.
tabs.
Close those tabs. That's my biggest problem. I have like 20 tabs open and I'm terrified to close them because I'm going to lose information I need.
Bookmarks. Bookmarks, people.
hmm
Just
I'm learning.
folders
Uh,
of bookmarks. I've recently
so,
found the reading list also helps. You can add stuff in Chrome. Anyways, close out of
ooh,
those
good idea.
tabs to save RAM. Chrome eats massive amounts of RAM. Massive.
Let's see. How do I share my? Let's see. Am I sharing my screen? I think so.
Hmm.
So I'm actually lagging now. Okay.
We can
All
look at the
right.
hardware after you talk about some of this software stuff too.
Okay. That sounds good.
Yeah.
All right. I think you all should be able to see what I've got going on here in my live stream.
Yeah, we
Um,
see your OBS. You got the window share for Discord open. And at the
okay.
bottom it says 0 frames dropped. You've been
Oh, that's
live for 9 minutes. CPU is at 4%, which is good, 30 frames. Her bandwidth is at 2,630-ish. So I don't know, you won't be able to change anything, but you can walk us through what are the
yeah.
core settings here.
Okay. So, hopefully y'all can see this. I don't know if
Yeah.
you'll be able to see this in my stream. Do I need to open it? I don't know. As long as you can see it in the channel. So the first thing you want to do is go to your settings, and we're gonna go to stream output to start with. I've got it set on advanced output mode, so you have a little bit more options to look at. But I actually think simple mode shows you what you need. You're gonna want to check your encoder. This is either gonna be your NVIDIA NVENC, or it's gonna be X. Was it 256? It's just a number. Um,
Yeah,
if
those
you
are just
have
different codecs, but the hardware, the NVIDIA NVEC, those are the hardware ones. If it says software, that's your CPU. You really don't want to stream on your
yes.
CPU unless you don't have a GPU.
Thank you, Sam.
Mm.
So the X256, I think is what it is. That's going to be your CPU. If you have the option to do the NVIDIA NVENC, you're going to want to switch it to this. This is going to help right away. It's going to put it on your GPU instead. If your GPU isn't great, you can run it on your CPU, but try to do this first if you have the option. And then I think
Hmm.
if you have an AMD card, you're going to have another option, and I'm not as familiar with that.
Right,
Um,
right.
I don't know why this rescale output says 1920 by 1080. That might need changed.
Well, I think that's default for
Is it
your
default for
screen
that?
size. Yeah.
Okay.
1980 by 1080 means you're not scaling it down at all. If you're
Well,
scaling it,
I think I've got to change it because what I want is to be in
oh,
720.
you have 720 up. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
all right. Explain to us then what that
Okay.
is.
So this one I'm a little confused by. So I've knocked mine stuff down to 720, and I just did that today because that's what I'm streaming to Twitch in. Is 720. It's easily watched by your viewers to have it in 720. It's not as demanding on your computer or their computers. So I've knocked all my resolution screen sizes down to 720. If you do have a decent computer and you can run it at 1080, that's fine. But I wanted these to be the same so that it's not doing any extra work to downscale anything. So
Yeah.
I'm actually redoing all my scenes to be 720. When I was having issues running the game the other day, I had it set to 60 FPS.
Mm,
I've gone and lowered that down to 30
yeah.
for my stream setup. And then in game, you can lower your settings as well. So I turned all the stuff to low.
Mhm.
Um, and then you want to check that the FPS has a cap. If you're doing really demanding games and they're 120 or more FPS, you're gonna want to cap that at like 120 or lower, because it's your OBS is going to try to keep up and stream all those frames, and it's just a lot on the system.
Mhm.
So you can downscale that stuff a little bit. I wish I could share these settings a little easier while I'm live, but you can't change a lot of stuff while live.
Right. I
Um,
could share my screen too and show what well actually wait, no, I'm live too. Never
yeah,
mind.
we're a little stuck.
We're both live.
Um,
But yeah,
so
so I'll just also add in there the higher frame rate is going to eat up your bandwidth. So if you have low bandwidth and you cut it from 60 to 30, they generally say 30 looks, looks like smooth video. Anything above like 25, your eye picks up as smooth video. So anything lower than 30 and people are going to start noticing gaps. But anything higher than 30 is just extra sauce. If you go to 60, that's about as smooth as people can physically see. Anyone who goes up to 120 is just, now you're in a realm of it doesn't really matter because your eye only operates around 60. So keep that in mind. Like 30 is just half of the max. So don't go lower than 30.
yes, and you can play around. What I would do is mess with these settings, go live
Yeah.
or record. As long as your recording settings are the same, you can do stuff for that. And then just like record it and go back and watch, see if it's fixed it, or you can do it live on stream too.
Right.
Troubleshooting streams are funny because everyone shows up for them for some reason, and then you're just embarrassed because you're trying to fix the stream, and it's like, why are y'all here? Come
Everyone
back when I'm
shows up when you're not, when you're just trying to fix it and mess around.
Your rate control should be CBR. Max did share what he's got his settings set to right now. Now the downscale filter I think can be different. If they're this, if you've got your canvas resolution and your output the same, I can't remember if bicubic was the right one for that, but I can't look at my settings to see the answers. But if it says that there might be loss in quality from downscaling, you can put it on that setting. I don't remember if it's bicubic or a separate one. Oh, thank you.
Oh, I can start up stream ladders and look at my
Gloria
settings on
scaling.
them.
So Max, I would actually switch that to the bilinear. So you're not scaling since they're the same, so it's the fastest. I would do bilinear for your setting instead.
Bilinear. Yeah, it's fastest, but since she's not downscaling, she has her base canvas set to 720 and her scaling to 720, so she can do bilinear and get away with it. If you had it set to 1080 canvas and output to 720, then it would probably look pretty blocky, like Minecrafty.
Yeah, then you would want to use the bicubic setting for that. Okay, cool. So you've got that. All right, we got one setting fixed up there. All right, so we've got those set up. You want these the same, 30 FPS. Again, if you have a better system, feel free to boost these up. And then audio, I think we can leave that alone.
Right, this is for just the lowest end PC that could stream. And if you don't have a graphics card, you're going to have a bad time.
All right, our encoder settings are important here too. Your bit rate is going to be one to look at. The better your internet, the higher your bit rate can be, and then the bit rate also has to do with like the settings you have as well. I would stick under 10,000 bit rate, but you can probably be higher than 2,500. I would start around 3,000 here. Play with that, see how it looks. If it's still choppy and not running smooth, drop it down 500 more and go down until you feel like it's where it needs to be. But start around 3,000 to 5,000, see how it runs. If your internet's good, it should run fairly smoothly. And then we're only at 720, so we can run lower. If you're at 1080, you're going to want this number to be a little higher.
Yeah. I'll say that they connect with the video settings in that you have to be able to... Hold on, I'll turn my camera on. I've been trying to save bandwidth. If you are adapting your settings or changing your settings, keep in mind that if you have 1920 and you're compressing it or even just streaming 1920 raw, it has to fit within that bit rate. So the packets you compress have to be small enough to fit in there. So if you really bump up the quality of 60 frames and you're trying to do a bit rate of 2000, it's gonna get packet loss and some other issues, probably frame rate drop. Or maybe not frame rate. Frame rate's more of the hardware struggling. But if your bandwidth is struggling, you're going to lose packets. Like, they're not going to get the packets fast enough. So a higher packet level is your bit size, bit rate. and correct me if I'm wrong, this is just my understanding from learning over the years, guys. You can also Google and like find literal like huge guides on this. Like you can find
Yeah.
somebody explaining like, okay, here's your if your speed's this and your GPU's this, here's what you should have it, and it'll like
Hmm.
go across the chart.
There's
You can mess with that, and there's ways to
yeah.
test it out.
Yeah, there's definitely calculators. Definitely use those for your particular
But
setting.
I mean, I've also found around 3,000, right? Like, is a pretty good like
That's
save space, but don't kill the quality. It's like
hmm
3,000.
the lowest I've gone is like 1500.
Oh wow.
But yeah, yeah, 3 to 5 seems to be where I end up.
Did people say anything when you were at 1,500? Or did
No,
they really
nobody
notice?
says anything about my content. They're like, "We're here to hang out with you. Can we hear your voice?" All right, good.
Well, I used to have a terrible PC. I streamed on like a 960 or 970 for a long time, and I would play like Tarkov and stream, try to make it a high quality stream. And people would say all the time, like, "Oh, your bit rates drop, or your frames are dropping. It's looking really glitchy, or stuff like that." So I tweaked it and tweaked it and tweaked it, and now I have fiber internet, and it doesn't matter. I just I set it to
Nice.
4K, and I'd be done with it.
Yeah, so you'll just have to play with that. And again, yeah, if you're definitely playing games, you want your games to look good. So
And
definitely
then
keep
it
an eye
also
on that.
comes down
And
to,
watch your streams back.
yeah, watch your streams, watch your VODs, watch your VODs, watch
If
your
you don't have an
VODs.
audience to correct you, definitely watch your
I
VODs.
watched one of our VODs the other day and I was like, oh, no one can hear anyone else very well. And then I'm super loud. So I had to go in and tweak my settings. But
Yeah.
what are the disadvantages of going too high on the bitrate?
You're gonna start seeing the stuttering in the gameplay. It's gonna lag, drop frames, and it's just gonna look
So your
really bad.
gameplay itself in the game, like when you're looking at it, or for
You'll
people watching?
see it in the OBS, not running smooth. Sometimes it'll affect your gameplay, I guess, like for you, if your PC's really struggling.
Yeah,
Um,
if you don't have great internet, you're going to start losing out on game data that's coming or going out. So you
yeah.
might have
So
problems with like hit registration, stuff like that. If you're playing competitive, you might be behind a second or a millisecond, a few milliseconds. I guess you could check your ping too if you think you're streaming at too high of a bit rate, and check your ping and
mhm.
see, are you losing frames. Does that make sense, guys? My game was lagging.
And if y'all have advice for this too, feel free to drop it
Of
in chat.
course, yeah, this is a
There's stuff that
collaborative
we don't
thing.
know, and we're always learning.
Oh yeah. No, I still have problems. Like I said, I just actually had some issues with this the other day. So, if you guys have some advice, you have experience with streaming, hit us up. We'd love to also bring you on and talk about, content creation, your struggles on this session every Monday. We're always looking for people to feature. So, hit us up. But yeah, sorry, BU. I keep derailing you there. Go ahead
Oh,
and
it's okay. Bert in my chat said I stream on an average gaming laptop. I live with these issues, so yeah, we know. Um,
that's exactly what this is for.
and it's always changing. You know, new Windows updates come out, OBS updates, your internet's change over the years, so it's always good to refresh yourself every year on these settings because yeah, the tools and quality and everything changes over time. Your preset
Hey
quality
BU, one
here.
sec
Mhm.
before you
Oh,
do the
yeah.
preset, can you go
Mhm.
change on your screen or on the call? Can you go to the top right next to that
Oh,
chat
do
box
the
and click non-video participants? That way
yeah,
your stream can see it. Okay, perfect.
a little better for y'all.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's better for your stream.
Okay, cool. Um, all right, so our next setting here, keyframe intervals, I have it set to auto. That's worked for me for a while. I've messed with this in the past, like years ago. And I think I had it set to something else, but 0 seems to work for me. Preset. All right, so this one's good one to change. I would just bump this one to performance. If everything's running really well and you think you could get a little bit more quality out of your content, feel free to put it on quality. But if again we're struggling, let's drop that down to performance so it focuses on that. And then you want this high, profile high, I believe.
And for the preset, if you have really bad internet, a low latency performance would probably be good to try out and test the stream. Low latency performance means your computer's not going to struggle as much, but it's also going to, I think, compress it more or something. Or honestly, I don't really know what those presets go to.
Oh, let's
Presets,
see.
you have different ones. So very slow.
So you're using Coder X264, and you don't have INVEC then.
Oh.
Yeah, okay, then you're probably right. I would put it on fast.
Yeah. Placebo. What?
What is placebo? Like,
These don't even
computer
actually
talking.
matter. They just they're all mental. It just gives you a list of options on what you prefer your computer to be. I prefer to be very slow.
Oh, something else you should do is open. I don't think I did it today. Open your OBS and run as an administrator. You want to set that up.
Oh, wait, he has H264. That's your hardware. Change it to the 264. Try it. See if it helps.
And again, playing with the settings, figuring out what works. It's all trial and error. Oh, I was also told to turn look ahead on, which I'm going to turn on, and I'm going to take off psycho visual tuning.
Let's look ahead on.
So look ahead is your computer's gonna, okay, enables dynamic B frames. If disabled, the encoder will always use the number of B frames specified in the max B frame settings. If enabled, it'll increase visual quality by only using however many B frames are necessary, up to the maximum at the cost of the increased GPU utilization. Okay, so I would just put it on fast.
Yeah.
That's my instinct. I could be wrong. Maybe that's a good one to YouTube and try to find better options. Because like balance sounds like a good answer too. So I think look ahead needs to be on max B frames. I guess I'm gonna leave that at 2. This part I don't understand as clearly. I'd have to go back over the information again. Basically, you want to tell your PC if frames get too high on a demanding game, it'll cap it and not try to use every frame.
Okay.
Right. I think look ahead does that. Instead of it trying to stream every single frame, look ahead will, if I remember correctly, it'll do every other frame to run it smoother. I could be wrong on that. So those are all set. Pretty good. I think we're good here. Do you all have any questions about this area? Oh, and then you always want to hit apply. Okay, audio, I don't mess with audio. It's usually okay. Oh, but Sam does suggest to disable all this stuff and add each audio source to each scene. So you can have muted scenes that don't have a microphone attached to them.
Right.
They should be disabled. I'm sure we could find an audio expert to dive further into some of this stuff to help us with that. Okay, but I think that's all we need for here. I think that's good for here. All right. So now that we've kind of messed with some of the settings, we're messing with our bit rates and our resolution for the stream. There's some more things to not be so demanding on your computer. OBS is pretty demanding, especially when you have a bunch of scenes and a bunch of movement and motion graphics and all of these sources and browser sources. A lot of times they're running in the background and you don't even realize it. So I'm going to show you how to turn off sources so that they're not being used when you're not using those scenes. So I'm going to start with our starting soon screen. Now, my channel won't be able to hear me for a minute. Maybe we won't start there. Okay, let me add it here. Let me just see if I can show you here. So you've got browser sources and overlays and stuff. So here's our game overlay. All right, so our game overlay, for example, it's motion. You all see the little bumblebees flapping around here. Alerts will pop up. And your starting soon screen, your BRB screens, those things, all are browser sources. What we want to do is go into those properties, and you want to shut down the source when not visible. This should be turned on for all of your browser source scenes. So when you change your scenes here on the left side, this is gonna turn off when you're not in that particular scene, but it's gonna come back on when you flip over to it. So it's still gonna work just like you want it to, but when you're not on that scene, it's not gonna be taking any resources. So go through and hit shut down source when not visible for your motion graphics, your BRB screens. We'll do it here. Shut down source when not visible. It's under your properties. Okay. Media sources, same thing. We want to close file when inactive. So it might be worded a little different depending on the source. Okay. Game. Okay. So if y'all missed that in my channel, I went to my BRB screen and I turned off the I turned it off when it's not visible. Let me go ahead and change that. So removing those as much as possible. If you have a lower end PC again, don't have any motion graphics. Go ahead and just do all stagnant things. Your BRB screen does not need to be moving. It's nice if you have something like one thing maybe moving on the screen so people know that you're live and it's active. But those are, you want to just turn those off as much as possible. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
On those?
Well,
okay.
For me at least, I guess it does make sense. It's better to ask the chat. Yeah, if you don't have a really high-end PC, you might just want a minimalistic static overlay, which you can get on Stream Elements. You can get simple plain browser source. You know, we have a video in our Twitch archives that you can look at. It's how to set up Stream Elements and these overlays and stuff. Just keep that in mind.
Yes.
A whole lot of media is going to slow your computer down a little.
Yeah, reduce those where you can. You know, have one or two media browser sources per scene. Clean these up when you can. My OBS is such a mess right now. I've doing tutorials and stuff and adding things and removing things, and I just get I get messy. It's good to take some time off and tidy these up. Are there any less demanding streaming programs that you'd recommend? Streamlabs OBS would be one that you could look into. So I use OBS Studio, but I have heard that Streamlabs OBS is less demanding. Again, it's kind of a trial and error. Find out which one your PC likes better. You're still going to want to go in and change all these settings, but it's definitely worth trying another streaming program if one's not working for you. But Streamlabs OBS is really simple to use. It's basically OBS with an overlay on it, kind of. But I hear it's less demanding. And again, like Sam said earlier, just strip down your stream to be as simple as possible. You don't need a bunch of fancy, flashy overlays, motion graphics. You don't need your alerts to, you know, they can make a sound and stuff, but they don't have to be motion either. You want to be able to stream and go live. Like you can stream right from your phone and it's just you and a camera, you know,
Right.
depending on the content you're doing. But
also Stream Elements, that's why I like it so much, because you have all your stuff in one browser source. Your alerts, even your camera. You know, if you did want to do an animated overlay, that would be the way to do it. Instead of downloading a bunch of video files and starting them up every time you stream. So StreamElements.com contains everything in one package, one browser source.
Yes, Stream Elements is a good one. That's where I get all my sources.
And that can plug into any of those platforms, right? I use the Stream Elements overlay or wrapper for my OBS. OBS is the base software, and we're talking about tweaking those settings, and they could change if you have a different overlay, but they'll always be the same basic settings unless you're using some other weird application to stream, which I don't even know anybody who doesn't use OBS in some form.
Right. I'll try first. Okay. I'll first try these settings and then move on. Okay. Also another tip, game capture. That is what you want to use when capturing your game. That's gonna be less demanding than monitor capture. So if you can use game capture, do that one first. That one's gonna optimize the best. Let me see where my game capture is. I don't know if there's any. Let's see. Hang on, there's something in here. Limit capture frame rate. I think that one helps.
Do you want to have capture cursor on for that, or just does it still
If you
capture?
want.
I mean, if you're tracking, I guess it would still have the in-game tracker, right?
Yeah, I don't know if that one harms it much.
Yeah, I would say
Maybe a
leave it off,
preference.
but
Yeah. Um, but I think limit capture frame rate will help a little bit, and then I don't know about hook rate on that.
yeah, I don't change
But
anything else on there.
yeah, so you can do that. Let's see, are there any other tips that I came across that were helpful? And again, in game, lower your frame rate caps in game if you're playing games that you can do that in. Lower the quality a little bit there. I know we don't want to lose much quality when we're
Yeah.
gaming, but if you have to, you have to, and it can help. But maybe by optimizing your OBS, you'll be able to up the quality of your game as well, so you can enjoy it.
What about looking at the audio, your audio bit rate? Did you already talk about that and I missed it?
I did not change any audio settings.
Because it doesn't take up as much as everything else, but it can still affect it. Sample rate 48. Okay. I think you have to change it on the tracks, the individual audio tracks. Like if you go to, oh wow, there's a lot on here. Can you go down? Oh, process, go up a little bit. Process priority. So you can change it to high. It might affect other things on your computer, like your game or something else. It'll prioritize it above other applications if there's limited available RAM or CPU usage. It shouldn't really be an issue with CPU if you're not streaming off of it. But with RAM, it can be an issue, especially if you have tabs or other windows open. Like it might.
I think running it as administrator also prioritizes it a bit more too.
Yeah. Okay. And
So
then
that's good to know.
if you shouldn't be recording if you have a bad computer. And hardware acceleration is good to have on. Browser source hardware acceleration for animated screens. What else? Do you want to look at the reporting or like the data from the stream? I think at the bottom.
How do I do about these guys?
Yeah, if you click on it, what does it do if you click on it?
Doesn't.
It doesn't do anything.
No.
What about in view? At the top left. View. Stats. There we go. Yeah, you can see disk space available only if you're recording. It doesn't matter if you're not. Average time to render frame is pretty low. BU's only missed 2 frames, which is pretty small. Memory usage, using half a gigabyte. So as long as you have 8 to 16 gigs of RAM, you should be all right. If you only have 4 gigs of RAM, that might be a problem, especially if your game is taking up 2 or 3, because your operating system itself needs a few. So other than that, CPU usage is under 3. You can say 5 to 3% is probably a safe range to be in. If you're in the 10% CPU range, you probably need to check your settings. And I don't know, maybe that changes if you have a really low-end PC. Because it would definitely be more if you didn't have as nice of a CPU. I don't know. I would just say if it goes over 20%, you really need to fix something because you're going to struggle to stream. And change some of these settings.
Here's Max's stats.
Are you streaming now, Max?
1 CPU, that's good.
It went all the way up to 80% on OBS.
Oh, what?
That means you're probably running it off of the CPU, so you need to switch it to the other one and try it then. You did change it to the H one?
Okay. Now, I would change it back then and see what it does then with the other one. Because some people do stream it off their CPU.
He might not actually have a GPU, and it might just be a simulated one,
Maybe.
like a different way to do it on his CPU.
Yeah. Max, I hope some of this has helped. Do some tests and yeah. Yeah, just keep messing with it. And again, if we find out that your PC just isn't gonna be able to game and stream, that would be unfortunate. But then you would at least know that you need to update your graphics card or
Can you do
whatnot.
Control Shift Escape, Max, when you're streaming and take a picture of the services? Or is
Oh,
it Performance? I think it's Performance tab. Yeah, Performance. Control Shift Escape. Well, you could do it when you're streaming too, but it'll give me some more data on what the capacity is of your computer. There we go. You have an i5.
ooh, that's what's probably causing your problems right there.
And 8 gigs of memory. Ethernet is 6 megabits per second. What if he dropped his bitrate to 15?
I would drop bitrate to 15 for sure.
And your GPU, so you do have a GPU.
That i5 makes streaming hard though.
Yeah, I think it's a built-in.
You can stream from i5, but it's hard. It definitely restricts you a lot.
Maybe try turning virtualization on. And if you could overclock your CPU. The utilization is 44%. Is that when you were streaming or not? No, the 40% GP or CPU in that screenshot, I didn't stream anything. That was just settings sitting there. Do you have any browsers open? I guess you have Twitch open. Yeah, you have Twitch open. I don't know, man. Try streaming with no browsers open. If you have a phone or something, pull up your Twitch and watch it on that.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Also, OBS, while it's showing your videos and stuff, you know, you can see it live. You usually want to be able to see it so you know you're in the right scene and your camera's on and whatnot. But it does take resources. So if you right click over here in this empty space, where is it?
Your internet's bad. Maybe get a different. Are you using wireless?
There's a way to turn on performance. Let's see.
I'm in the mountains.
Is it enable preview? Oh, just take the enable preview off and leave it like this.
Nice. Okay. That's a good tweak as well. I've never streamed like that, but if you...
It's killing me already, and I don't like it.
Yeah, it's weird.
But again, if you gotta do what you gotta do. Check on your phone. Tiger Man, hello, welcome. We're doing a stream on how to like optimize your OBS and things so you can run on poor quality equipment. We got to do the best with what we got, and there's little tips and tricks. So we've been going over those today.
It's a meta stream. Stream about streaming. What I was gonna say is we can look at the Twitch analytics too. But whatever, I think they have like a stream summary page somewhere
To
see like if you're dropping frames or
oh, do
the
they
bit
really?
rate's good. Yeah, because you'll be able to see the fluctuations in bit rate if it's off.
In your creator dashboard?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, I can go look too here.
Yeah.
But internet is the biggest thing for streaming. Like if you don't have internet,
Yeah, try to be directly plugged in if you can.
Yeah. Stream summary. That's not the right place.
I didn't know they had a thing to help with that.
Or maybe they don't, and I'm just...
It's possible that there's so many settings.
I know, it's probably like in some report section. I'll
Max,
see if I can
I
find
hope,
it.
yeah, I hope some of this helped. Again, drop down to 1500 bitrate. Go back to X256 or whatever. Um, go from there.
Yeah. The bit rate's in the top right when you're on the streaming dashboard, Stream Manager. And if it's fluctuating up and down significantly, try to tweak it. Maybe check and see if your video resolution is too high for that. You tried all that stuff though, Max? You tried lowering the canvas size and the scaling?
If you absolutely have to, go down to 480.
Yeah. It might
Try
be...
that. Just
try
try
that.
it.
Yeah, it'd be a really poor quality stream, but if you want to stream, that's probably the solution. Because 5 megabits per second is pretty fast compared to dial-up, but it's not very good. And internet's good, important for streaming. You probably are going to have a lag of a minute at least.
Good. All right. At least we kind of understand the settings a bit more because, yeah, they are really confusing. There's a lot of weird words and things. And what do they mean? How do they work together?
We've all gone through that. I remember the first couple times I streamed and just hit the go live button and had no idea what I was doing. And then somebody was like, dude, your bit rate and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, what? What is a bit rate? Yeah.
Right.
So,
yeah, I'm not really technically inclined. So I love streaming. I love content creation. I don't enjoy PC specs and parts and all that. But if you like something enough, you're gonna want to work through it and learn about it and get better at it. So that's just part of it. Again, another worst case option, if you have an Xbox or PlayStation and you really want to stream, just go live from console.
that's true. We didn't even talk about that. Does it handle all the settings for you then? You just click go live and it changes stuff as you... I think it just sets these all for you. So
Mad Max is in my chat right now, and he streams straight from Xbox, and he's done that for a long time.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, I've got quite a few partner friends that started out on Xbox. Some on Mixer. Some of our friends got partnered streaming just from an Xbox.
That's
like
cool.
You don't need a PC. Yeah. You just have to be a little bit more creative.
Yeah, you can't do as much viewer stuff, but I guess
but you can. But you just gotta know.
You need to know how.
How. That's where we need to get into bots and talk about how different bots can help. That's a whole stream in itself. You've got Nightbot, MooBot. You've got your Stream Elements bots. There's all kinds of cloud bots. Mix It Up, Firebot. They all do all kinds of crazy stuff.
I like that.
And you can use them to really amp up things like just a console stream. You can have people playing games in chat because you hooked up Mix It Up. And, you don't need...
We'll do another separate session about that as well. So if you're watching this clip, check out Triba, discord.gg/Triba. Check out the Monday events in the top left. And we'll do another one on bots and showing you guys what kind of plugins you can use. So even if you're streaming on console, PC, wherever, your chat can interact with you through that, using the exclamation mark commands and stuff. Or is it slash commands now?
Fun. Oh, if it changed, I don't know. I'd assume most of them are still exclamation point. Built-in ones on Twitch now are slash. So, you can stream directly with the Twitch app on PlayStation. Yes, I would use just the Twitch app on PlayStation, and it's all built in. So.
All right.
Oh, Max, I am glad you joined too. Thank you for speaking up in chat today, because I kind of had an idea of what we could talk about, but it really helped that you actually had an issue that we could, tackle and get after and have a stream around it. So that was really cool. I really appreciate it. And we'll keep working with you to resolve the issues. So feel free to keep dropping your questions and let us know how it's going. So if someone else has any other ideas, we can keep troubleshooting, but we're here to help you. We want people to be able to stream and do what they enjoy. That's why we're here to do these workshops.
Yeah, I've helped so many people set up different streams over the past years. and I really have always just wanted to make some content that helped people set them up. So hopefully if you're watching this VOD, you got some tips and ideas on how to set up a stream. I think we're going to make a course at some point here where we go through and put it all together, edit it, maybe even just the clips from this thing. So you don't have to watch the whole stream. But thanks you so much, Max, for asking questions, because it's good to get, one of these cases and work through it, troubleshoot it. That's really what it's about. You got to toy around. So keep messing around with it. If you want any help with the hardware side of it, hit me up on Discord. If you want any ideas for engagement stuff on a low end PC, hit up B, obviously. Not that you have a low end PC, B. It's just
yeah, it does its thing, and I try to take care of it best I can.
You need a reliable PC. You don't need the best PC in the world. That's what we're trying to say. You can adjust the settings. Yeah, as long as you have enough internet.
Edward, nice. You use your Xbox for all your streams as well. See, we have a bunch of Xbox streamers.
Cool.
So it can be done. So that's one thing about streaming is a lot of people think they have to buy all the equipment and spend a whole bunch of money to get into it. And really, like, a lot of the work is just going live and learning to talk and connect with people and be entertaining. And you don't need all that. You're not, all the equipment's not going to help you do that part better. And if you just can't, be on and a streamer on from your Xbox, it's not going to get any better if you have more money put into it. So do what you can with what you got and learn the skills that you can that are available to you at the time, and then grow with your stream as you expand and upgrade your equipment.
Yeah, sure. Let them help you because they like you, They want to help you make better content. Yeah.
Your audience is such a great resource to get better at what you do. If it wasn't for people, like you said, Sam, earlier, you were like, oh yeah, some people were coming in and being like, bitrate this and change the setting that. And that's what I had when I started out. I had people coming in who knew what they were doing, and they were able to guide me and get me in the right direction with the right tools to continue to stream and get better at it.
Yeah. Never stop improving. And I think we'll wrap it up there. I mean, we have 10 minutes. If anyone has any last minute questions, we're happy to answer them. We also love learning about new streamers. If you are currently streaming actively or making videos, content creation, hop in Triba, share that link with us in the content channel. There's a content creation channel and a streaming channel. So share the links to your Twitch, but don't just post the link. Like, tell us about what you're passionate for, what you're trying to accomplish, what you like about streaming, or what your struggles are. Something like that. And we'll get back to you. We'll check it out. And as always, thank you so much for watching and joining us. Everybody from BeeYoo's channel as well, thank you. Hello and Happy New Year. Yes. I love meeting people from that community as well. They're all so nice.
They are. Tigerman had a question. What webcam do you use for your Xbox? If you all stream from your Xbox, feel free to chime in, but I use my Xbox Connect camera.
Is that good or is it decent?
I mean, Xbox doesn't give you a lot of options with streaming anyway. It's going to be a tiny little camera in the corner, so the Connect camera works well enough for that.
Okay.
Has there been updates to use your Logitech cameras for Xbox? Can you just plug in a Logitech now? I've not had to stream from my Xbox in a long time, so I'm not up to date. But I would say the Logitech C920 is a cheap camera, and it always does the job if you're just getting started. You don't need a big fancy camera, but Logitech C920 is still a pretty good go-to. They've got a couple new models that are a little bit better, but not by a whole bunch.
C920, I'm looking that one up, but I'm pretty sure that's the one I have. Oh no, I have a different version. One of the older ones.
You can use any camera.
But now I have a better one, but.
So it sounds like you can plug any USB camera into the Xbox from what Max is saying. And yeah, if you've got one lying around, even if it's crap, use it. Just try to get your lighting in your room decent. Your lighting's going to make a big difference with those lower end cameras.
Yes, this is the first stream of 2023. Woo! Yeah! First stream has been a success. Thank you, Max, and everybody else for joining us. And Paro just sitting here in the background. Woot woot. Yeah, we got lots of cool workshops planned for the new year, some special features in February, and obviously the launch of Triba Gold premium memberships get awesome discounts up to like there's a lot of money being saved if you're into business and you're trying to start up a venture or even get strategy and consulting. We've got web hosting, SEO, design, everything you need for your business. And that is launching on the 11th. So make sure you come to that launch party if you want to meet some of those guys and girls offering discounts and services. And what else? Yeah, tomorrow is the second episode of my coaching session with John Fitch, who is out also
Yay!
giving away free coaching to Tribe of Gold members. And that is where we're going to go over a little bit about what I've been doing in the past 2 weeks to improve my own creativity. And I've been making a list of everything, checking it twice, figuring out which ideas are naughty and nice, which ideas we should do. So I'll be going through that with him, talking about the practical application and how that worked for me. If you didn't watch the last one, it's on YouTube and it's on Twitch. Go look for it, Coach Fitch. And we'll catch you tomorrow then. Thank you so much, Triba. And
Thank
B,
you,
thank you.
everyone. Of course. Look forward to our next workshop.
All right. Take care.